Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Hi, my name is Lauren and I am a senior nursing major now at Troy University. I just finished up my third semester of nursing school and I will be starting my fourth semester in the fall. So this video I try to do every semester, just doing a recap of how I think that my semester went, and then I will also be doing a video that my classmates give tips and any other, just if there's any like basic questions that you have, I try to cover those, and my classmates will rank the classes that we took in order from hardest to what they thought was the least difficult. So be on the lookout for that. But today I am going to go over with how I did in my third semester classes, which were an online class called Informatics and Nursing. We had maternal infant, which is OB. We had that in a lab class for that, and then we also had adult health 2 and a lab class with that as well. So let's get started. First up, I just want to cover informatics. So I made an A in informatics. I don't believe that it was that difficult. There were assignments that we had due about, I would say, probably every other week. And then we also had 4 exams in there and a final. Our third exam and our final were both open book, open note. And they really weren't that difficult. All your information that you needed were in the PowerPoints, in my opinion. I ended up with like a 97 for the class overall, so not bad at all. So in my opinion, if you do your work, make sure that you have them done in time. There's a few like small assignments, but they're not difficult. Go ahead and knock them out as early as possible. If I can give you any tips for that, it would be to make sure that on your discussion boards, you have 3 discussion boards that you do. She says to make sure you do part 1 and part 2 in equal amounts, because half your grade comes from the first part, half your grade comes from the second part. The lowest that I made on a discussion board was a 99.5 out of 100. But I know people who had points taken off because they didn't give as much detail into part 1 as they did part 2, or part 2 as they did part 1. So if I can give you any tips for that, just do that. As long as you put the effort in and you turn your stuff in on time, you should be just fine in that class. Next up, I'm going to cover adult health and the practicum for that. So we didn't have any checkoffs this semester. We finished those up in second semester, and all we did were, you either had 6 8-hour days of clinical or 5 10-hour days. I was one of the groups that had 5 10-hour days, and we went to a hospital and we were just on a med-surg type floor, and we were able to do skills, pass meds, things like that. Yeah, so I think that being able to do sort of the basics, since we didn't get that our first semester, that was kind of rewarding for us, because a lot of us just wanted to be able to do small things like help move the patient from the bed to the chair, or to the chair to the bed. So also, we had to do a physical documentation on a patient where we wrote it out, basically like paper charting, just in case, if your computers go down or anything like that, you still have to know how to do that. We did a teaching project. My patient, he had a lot of issues related to diabetes, so I did my teaching on diabetes. And what else did we do in there? We had an evidence-based practice paper based on a policy or procedure that your specific hospital does. Not bad at all. Once I got into it, it did not take me long. And then we had 4 concept maps, and we had to do a journal for every day that we were there. So overall, it wasn't that bad. I really enjoyed it, and I just love getting clinical experience. Nothing compares to that, in my opinion. For adult health as the lecture course, we had 4 exams and our final. I have not received my final grade for that yet, but I do believe I'm going to have a C in there. It will be my second C, and I did not want to make another C, but sometimes that happens. I will insert a clip here. After I finished my exam, I did my math wrong, and I really thought that I failed, so I filmed myself. I was bawling in my car right after I finished my final, so I'll insert that here. so I don't know if I passed or not. I think at this point I might be repeating. So, I guess you win some, you lose some, right? It's not the end of the world if you fail. I have plenty of friends who fail, but they go on, I've seen people go on to be amazing nurses and they failed out of programs, gone to a different program. So don't let that get discouraging. I just didn't prepare myself as well as I thought I should have or could have for other exams. And so my final, I thought I prepared myself well enough, and the questions were a little bit more difficult than I figured that they were going to be. And so if I can say anything, I would say study the study guide that she gives you, know it in depth, but also don't put yourself in a position that that you're borderline, because I was borderline BC when I went in for my final and I needed to do better on my final. And so the final grades aren't in, so I really don't know what I've made, but we'll have to see. I made an 8 in the practicum and it was like a 98 what I ended with. It really wasn't that bad. So don't let that don't let that steer you away. She is willing to work with you. Just make sure that you're willing to put in the effort and the work, and you're gonna be fine. Last up, I am going to discuss OB, or the maternal infant, which is a lot of people's favorite. I did not think I was gonna like it, and then when I got into it, I fell in love. I may end up working in that. I'm not exactly sure. It just kind of depends, but I really enjoyed it. Maybe I'll enjoy something else more. I don't know. I'm trying not to decide before I get there, but it's going to be a hard one to beat in my opinion. So for the lab, we had a care plan, a concept map, a newborn assessment with the newborn normals that we had to turn in, a big set of preclinical guides that we turned in as a clinical group, and we also had, you had to turn in paperwork on your patient. You also had a birth story assignment that you completed on anybody that you wanted to. They just have to give consent and tell you their birth story, and you record it and then you play it for your clinical group. I ended up with a 97 in that class. As long as you do the work, you should be fine in there. Take every opportunity to do skills. The one thing I regret is I haven't gotten to do a Foley yet, but the patients, when they have epidurals, they don't feel anything, so they're the perfect patients to practice Foley on. Just be confident in your skills. You're going to be fine. Try to get everything that you can. If they're going to let you try something, go ahead and do it. Don't turn it down. Get as much practice on as many skills, whether you're doing the same thing 400 times or you're doing 400 different things. Get as much practice as you can. I promise it will be worth it. OB as a class, you have 3 exams and then your final, which is worth 30% of your grade, and most of finals are going to only be 25% of your grade. So really go ahead and jump on it right at the beginning. Study as good as you can. I don't know my grade for OB yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to end with a B. I feel like our circumstances were a little bit different this semester. We had some class cancellations and the tests were a little bit different, where we had to move some of the chapters to different exams, and I kind of think that affected me. I don't know if it affected anybody else, but I really wanted to make an A in this class and I didn't, but that is okay. Life goes on. You don't have to make all A's, but it was one of my favorite classes. I really loved learning about it. And it's one of those classes you either love or you hate. Like, I don't really know anybody that's like, it's okay, but a lot of people either really like it or really don't, and I'm one of those that really like it. So yeah, I'm so excited to be done with this semester. I'm gonna work full-time this summer and hopefully better myself and set myself up for a better future in nursing, and I am excited to see what 4th semester has in store for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please be on the lookout for my video where I read my classmates' responses and tips and any other fun things that they want to say. And I look forward to making more videos this summer. It'll be a little bit easier and I'll be able to plan a little bit more. But thank you guys so much for watching. Good luck on any of the finals that you have. and good luck in nursing school. You are going to be an incredible nurse.